flood at the same time. I don't know if you talk to God or dance with the devil or what you're doing, but just a quick update, Mayor, Council. Wastewater plant, as you know, it ran at 100% for a long time out there. Did approximately 7 million gallons. Normally they run about 2.6 million gallons through there. Our fine screen is down and damaged. They did get it pulled out with a crane. They're out there cleaning it right now. Parts have been ordered. The parts are going to be probably 8 weeks. That's going to be a big price tag, maybe up to $250,000.
Say what, I missed that one.
Okay, I'm sorry. The fine screen, they pulled out with a crane. They're cleaning it right now. They ordered parts. Going to be about 8 weeks before we get the parts. We're probably $250,000 damage to that piece of equipment.
That thing that takes all the big chunks out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that eligible for any sort of?
It would be.
Well, we'll be in the long run. Yeah, it's flood related, so we'll be claiming that with FEMA. I just got an email a little bit ago, the public assistance stuff. As far as our city goes, we have to have at least $118,000 lost for them to even consider our city for monies. Well, there's $250,000 in one piece of equipment, so we should be good there. They also realize now when they pulled that out, I just met with Tyler a little bit ago out there, the rails that actually hold it in place are also destroyed. So Rose Millwright's gonna be working on those, so probably add some more money to that 250 estimate. Cardis is putting together a quote for the damaged fence that is out there. Some of the fencing was knocked down from the floodwaters and debris. Water department, Rich is here, but broken main under the river by the trailhead at the north wastewater plant here. They did install an easy valve, so once they can get down there safely and it dries up a little bit to fix that main, they can shut that water off without shutting down the wastewater plant. Something Rich wanted to bring up, and I want to mention it too, and if the media can help me out here a little bit, guys, at no time were we at risk of losing water. So there was a lot of things that got circulated through, I don't know, social media and things that Rich took 3 or 4 phone calls from some of our major industries. I took a phone call from the hospital CEO and NORAM about when are we shutting the water off to Lamar's? Why are we shutting the water
Yeah,
off?
but a lot of that probably came out of Hayward and Rock
I'm
Valley.
sure, you're exactly
Just
right,
paranoia,
Clark.
so just-
Everybody panicked, everybody floods, so everybody's the same, which we weren't.
Right.
So at no time, our wells are out of the floodplain. Everything was working good unless we would have some major power outage for a long time. We always have water. So our water system was good and things like that other than the main, which we'll attribute to FEMA as well with the flooding. Golf course, not 100% open yet. We got 18 holes open. There's about 23 holes that are good out of the 27. Driving range isn't open yet. Maybe it will be today. They were going to see what the rain was going to do last night. Thank goodness we got a ½ inch and not 4 inches. No bridges, cart paths, or trails were damaged on the golf course, so all the bridges, trails, and stuff are good out there. We got a couple extra trees that showed up from somewhere, so if somebody's missing those, if you want to come get them, they're out there laying there for you in a couple different places. I gotta give Brian credit and the people out there. There's been over 150 volunteer hours already put in out at the golf course. They've had 55 different people show up and help, maybe an hour here or an hour there, raking up sticks, corn stalks, and whatever else needed done. So golf course is open. It was totally closed for about 6 days, and now we're back up and running, and hopefully we'll have all 27 holes open very soon. But kudos to those folks and everybody that showed up to help out there.
It is totally amazing that they are able to play golf out there after being out there and working.
Yeah, and if you saw it, yeah, even our drone pictures, it's like, how is that possible? So, good job for them. Public Works, which is our street and public facilities. Our trail by wastewater is damaged very badly. We have chunks of concrete missing. Also under the 75 and 3 bridges. By Little League out there, of course, on Highway 3, as I said. Dave Clark's been hired to get a large amount of sand off the trail so we can even keep evaluating it behind wastewater. That's being done yesterday, and today there's a ton of sand out there, 8-10 foot high. You couldn't even see a skid loader when he was pushing the sand that rolled in on our trail out there. And then we'll be able to evaluate the rest of that trail. Del Callen's been hired to fix our riverbank on Highway 3 and our bridge over the river out there. If you've looked, our trail bridge, How that didn't go down the river, I have no idea, because it's all been channeled around and the footings are just there. So Dell's gonna have to take a couple trees out there to get to fix the riverbank and fix that bridge, so you might see a couple extra trees have to come down out there. North and south of the bridge, of course, the bankment, the approaches, we gotta fix. Our campground currently is dry. The tile is working. That we pumped out the west part of the campground, and then the east part finished draining through the tile system that we had set up to drain it into the north pit. We had a turtle stuck in there that the boys had to fish out, and then that helped it drain a little better the other day. Cast snakes are out there pumping yet at the north pit. If you've noticed, the north wall of the north pit is severely damaged into our north campground. So once that gets pumped down, we'll have to evaluate how we shore that back up so it doesn't become part of the Willow River. I mean, it's trying to undermine there. Dave Clark will do that work hopefully for us as well. The Walmart pond is being pumped by Yoakum. That should be empty, I think, by tomorrow. I was out there, it's getting down there quite a ways now, so hopefully by tomorrow that'll be emptied.
Are they pumping total empty?
Yeah, so all the ponds will be totally empty. We'll make sure the bottoms are good, and then we'll have to refill and restock.
Yeah, talking to Brad this morning, with the pumps they have, they can get it down to about 1 to 2 feet of water. And I told Brad that's probably good. Then we'll just let it fill back up.
It naturally, right, we're not gonna fill them, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
just gonna be
Yeah, let her
water
fill.
natural.
And then in the
But
spring.
do we fish all the fish out at that point?
Well, in the spring, he's already been in contact with the DNR, and we'll worry about a fish kill. They'll come in and put that chemical in there to kill the fish.
Why wouldn't they kill it when it's down to 2 foot?
Because right now,
Why wouldn't
that chemical is not available nationwide, according to the DNR.
We'd like to, but yeah, we can't get our hands on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Okay, that's fine.
But then-
I'll just say okay.
Yeah, then they'll get restocked.
We had a really nice pond out there behind Walmart with some nice fish, and then it got inundated by the river water and other types of water and invasive fish, and we don't want that. The pit out here, they'll get pumped down, and then Tyler and the wastewater guys have a pump we can put in there to finish pumping that one out, to be able to get equipment in there to fix our berm or fix our north wall and stuff.
I would like
wonder if the
to,
fish would go through the tube, or if you have to grab them, or how that.
Some are gonna be laying there dead, and we'll have to clean them up.
Or a drag line or something.
I'm hoping the municipal pond out there can get dry enough to not only fix that bank from down there, but when that was dredged years ago, it was a very uneven product we were left with. So I'd kind of like to go in there if it's dry enough to
Escape it.
kind of clean all that stuff.
Level it
You're
out.
talking the pond bed, not the,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it went from, it had,
You can stand up out in the middle and it's knee deep, and then you walk off the beach 50 feet and you fall 30-foot hole.
Really?
That was a bad deal, the dredging thing, and sorry, Scott, rest in peace, but we didn't get that right.
So there will be some more cleanup
Yeah,
to get that level a little bit.
tapered better and
Yeah,
things, so when you
okay.
walk off the beach, you go down, tapers in, and you don't get to a spot, and all of a sudden, you're gone. So there's a lot of that out
Can
there.
I ask a question about the wreck trail bridge over by Highway 3? That was, I mean, you weren't the city administrator, I don't think, when that was built, but that was built to DNR specs, right? I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, because I've had some
Elevation
concerned
wise.
citizens.
Elevation, height-wise, and all that, yes, it
Because
was.
it forms a dam, you know, when it
Mm-hmm.
fills up with debris, and it's much, much lower than the highway bridge, and it's just, I can see some people's concerns, but
I
if
wonder
we did
if
it to
would be
DNR
higher-
specs.
I wonder if it would be higher this year, because I know on plywood, they made us come up quite a bit, so I think maybe they changed their standards.
Mhm.
But I recall Scott Lango telling me when they put that in, for every tree they took out, they had to put like 4 more somewhere else.
Oh, really?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that bridge
Because we
was,
disturbed
that bridge,
a very small portion of a wetland when we put that bridge in, so then we had to, it's not trees, it's acres, but same
Yeah.
concept.
Okay.
yeah, and that bridge was originally supposed to be on the other side of the bridge.
Oh,
It was supposed to be on the north side, but the DNR was very picky about how that thing went in.
Okay.
And so it was.
And I wanna, if I recall, I wanna say it
Spec.
was a foot above what the standard was at that time, a foot higher than what
Really?
it
It
had to
was
be,
pretty
Wow.
picky,
yeah.
it was.
Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead.
about When we restock the ponds, will there be mature fish also, or are we just gonna do fry?
I don't know if that's been decided yet.
Whatever's GNR.
I've been asked that by several people.
I wondered what kind of fish, I mean, is there a, do we get?
DNR handles that.
Yeah, there's a standard with DNR of what types and what sizes and all that.
They'll kill them and they'll restock.
Bass, and I know it does
They
not
also pay
include,
for it.
does not include crappie.
Yeah, they pay for it too.
Does not include crappie,
Right.
which drives me nuts.
Just keep moving our railroad canopy that's under the railroad on Fourth Avenue there, that was destroyed for the third time. So that's totally gone. We have 3 foot of corn stalks behind 7th Street Place out there where the Willow dumps into the Floyd. We really can't get a dump truck back there, so we've got to figure out how we're gonna clean that out.
Push it back into the river.
That might have happened with the weather one time, but we can't get a dump truck down in there, so we gotta figure out.
Brian didn't mean that.
Yeah, don't write that down, fellas. So there's about 3/4 of corn stalks back there behind 7th Street Place. That'd be over there behind Julie Langle's, the Herbst residence, back in there where the Willow dumps into the Floyd. We can't get a dump truck back in there. So we're evaluating what to do with that. So that's, and then they're just continuing to clean the trails and all the streets and the ditches and things along the streets that needed picked up. Our airport opened Wednesday last week. We used a big broom machine that Tom has. We used 10,000 gallons of water with fire trucks and washed all the runway off. The terminal and the 3 main hangars did not get any water due to our berming and our diking with the sand. The older hangars to the north did have 1 to 2 inches of water in them, but no real major damage. We do have some runway lights that aren't working from the flood. Of course, that will be a FEMA claim. We have an electrician coming in the next couple weeks, and we're going to go through and check every one of them to make sure that they're not corroded and they're going to work, or the ones that aren't working we can get replaced on our airport runway. Police department, they blocked several roads, of course, during the whole event, and we're out in force helping us. Police station itself, the berm held. We did sandbag the day of the flood. We used fire, police, public works employees, got everything sandbagged. The water came up through the ground and the grass on the good side of the berm. I think it was trying to equal in pressurization, so we're gonna need to decide when the FEMA mitigation people get here how we remedy that problem. The water got all the way to the PD building but didn't get in. But we had a lot of water in that south parking lot coming right up through the concrete, but the berm held. So I'm thinking it's going under the berm, or it's trying to equalize in pressures. So that's something we need to reevaluate with our mitigation efforts. Fire rescue, as I said, we did 10,000 gallons at the airport. We sandbagged the PD. We sent a big portable pump down to Hinton to help them keep the water out of the community of Hinton, which it worked great for them, pumping out of a couple of manholes that were filling up. And they threw it back over the berm and gave it to Sioux City or wherever they sent it. We did rescue 2 people from a car in the water out here at the Little League field. I have to thank Dreckman Excavating for the use of their payloader to safely get those people out. We took river readings every several hours, every several minutes at times. We have drone photos that we've taken that I showed some of you of all of our stuff throughout the community. From 7 a.m. till midnight, the day of the flood on Saturday, I took 167 phone calls on my cell phone from citizens, department heads, everybody that was concerned about what was happening. And that's fine. It's just a lot. And I will tell our citizens, we don't sandbag homes. You know, we have sandbags, but they're for our infrastructure, such as wastewater, the police station, things like that, to keep the city functioning. We did help people find some bags in sand, but I would just tell people by state law, we don't do that. We don't have to provide that, but you know, if you live along a river, you might want to make sure you have that stuff available. or know where you can get it before it floods. And we'll help you when we can, and I'll take your phone calls and try to direct you in the right place. But at that point in the ballgame, it's forked down with a minute to go, and we're busy pulling people out of cars and doing other things, so we just don't have the staff to help with sandbagging homes. But as Rob, the mayor, said, that neighborhood did great. They had a lot of help down there with the neighbors, and everybody was helping each other and fetching some sand and some bags that we did find for them. So I think all in all, things went well. Leading into the home thing, FEMA has been around and evaluated several homes in our community, and I just got their sheet from them. I had them send me a snapshot. All in all, in Northwest Iowa, if you take Clay, Emmett, Lyon, Plymouth, and Sioux County so far, they have a possibility of 2,672 homes destroyed. That's a lot of houses. Of course, our friends of the north with Rock Valley and Spencer and Hayward aren't faring as well as we did. The mayor asked me for the numbers the other day. Currently, we are still right at those numbers that I gave. We had 6 houses in the city that had some water in them, 3 outside the city limits that had water that were real close to the city limits. We had 1 business and then 2 business slash storage buildings for a total of 3 that had water. We had 1 business outside the city that had water. And then we had 3 homes in the city that's been reported so far that had some sewer issues, and 1 outside the city. So all in all, about a dozen homes, maybe 3 or 4 business buildings that were affected, but everybody is still in their homes, which we're very fortunate compared to others. We're waiting now for the public assistance team to show up from FEMA. That first group that was here is the housing group. So I took them around, showed them the neighborhoods, gave them addresses. They've canvassed all those neighborhoods, up to 50 or 60 homes they've been to now. The FEMA Public Assistance Mitigation Group, that's who we want to talk to on behalf of our city infrastructure and our things, are supposed to be here at the end of this week or maybe next week. I know FEMA is very busy with everything. So once that team gets here, that will be the team we'll talk to about our golf course, our airport, our trails, our wastewater, the things we need to maybe mitigate, some berms we might want to change, and things like that. So hopefully they'll be here in the next week or so.
Chief?
Yes.
I saw that FEMA is planning on having a temporary office for 60 days here in Mars, I believe.
That's a possibility, depending on the need. Now, I'm not so sure we're gonna need it.
I was just gonna say, it seems wasteful to me.
Right.
I'd rather have it in I mean, if it's
So
gotta be
they-
in Plymouth County,
yeah.
put it in Akron.
Yeah, they
or-
put one in Sioux County now, just today. I think they thought we were more inundated than what we were. I did offer them Fire Station 2, you know, for the meeting room, handicap accessible, and handicap bathrooms and things. That's some of the things they look at in their check sheet. But I don't see them actually setting up shop here now because we've got minor damage for homes.
Yeah,
So I'll let you know.
Or do they pick a location where it's high and dry?
yeah.
Then
Or
other
the county
others can
seat,
come.
I don't.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I can't answer that, but I know they asked, so I offered.
Right.
You know, they were looking for a place, so I said we'll gladly work with you on that. They need bathrooms and things like that, and internet and phone, and you know, we have all that. We have a generator, so the building's always got power. So you could be right, Clark, for people to be able to get somewhere where it's accessible.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering, but anyway.
And some of our homes in Plymouth County were in the southwest part, and Akron, where the Big Sioux really ran wicked over there. So we did keep a bunch of extra sandbags from the public. They called and wanted to know what to do with them. I didn't want them to cut them up. They're already bagged full of sand, ready to go. So we've got about 2,000 sandbags on hand for the public right now that we have on pallets that we're storing in our emergency management building. That if this happens this year yet or again, God forbid, we can pull some sandbags right out and let the public get after it. So they're already bagged up. They won't have to bag them themselves this time or anything like that. We also have sandbags stored at the PD now, ready to go already, that we don't have to bag those up, because we know what that's gonna do until we figure out how we're gonna mitigate it down there. We know it's gonna come up on that south side if we get any amount of water that floods out of the river possibly, so. Other than that,
Knowing that you're not God or the devil.
thank you.
And we have an opportunity for more rain coming. Is there threats, imminent or not if we get a great deal of rain, or the north of us gets a great deal of rain?
I would say if the north gets rain, we gotta watch, because they're so saturated. Fortunately, here that day when it was raining 8 inches in Rock Valley, Steve, and it was raining 17 in Sioux Falls, we didn't get any.
Right.
And we were dry. And until yesterday and last night, my yard was dry, you know? So we were fortunate there that when their water came, we didn't have water already here. But they are so, we can take some water, yeah. You know, we didn't get the 4 inches last night. Ours is already down, the river's way down.
Yeah.
But they are so saturated up there, if they get any, that's when we're gonna have to pay attention again. We could have handled a 4-inch rain here last night. It wouldn't have looked great, but it would have handled it and not been anywhere where we were
Okay.
last weekend,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
But alls I can say is thank you. I tried to keep you guys posted. I didn't want to bother you too much. And, you know, the department heads are great. They answer my phone calls. Then I said in that one email, they all know what their job is, which is nice. We've got some really experienced, some really good people that answer their phones for first thing and then come out and help. Because I'm hearing from other communities how it was hard to find city representation or find city people to get an answer from private contractors that just showed up that wanted to help and things like that. That gets frustrating to people that are trying to save their communities. So kudos to our staff. We had a couple issues with people going around barricades, and I almost had a fisticuff with Scott Knipe with a truck driver trying to go around a barricade, and Scott was just trying to protect him. And so I just asked the public to be patient. We're doing things to protect them and protect our city. If we'd have lost that wastewater plant, we wouldn't even be talking right now, because all our mitigation would have been for naught, because everybody would have had stuff in their basement, even though we didn't have floodwaters here. So I feel great for those guys. They stood out there on the island. That's a life risk. There was no way for them to get out of there. I told them if it went in, go to the roof and we'll come get you. I kept calling him every couple hours, to the point Doug on Tuesday night called me and he said, you know, you got pretty damn annoying. But he says, after I've had time to sit around and think about it, he said, Chief, I know if something would have happened, you'd have come and got us. And that's what it's about. It's about accountability and taking care of everybody. And that's what we try to do. And that's what this disaster plan does. It was developed in 1985. So we've had one a long time. Some communities don't have any plan at all. And that's what they run into. So